What does this mean for Reputation, Taylor's version? Let's talk about it. Full transparency, I haven't even re-recorded a quarter of it. She says how the Reputation album is specific to that time in her life and how it's kind of difficult to do that. To be perfectly honest, it's the one album in the first 6 that I thought couldn't be improved upon redoing it. Not the music or photos or videos, so I kept putting it off.
Reputation reflects a time in Taylor's life that was pretty intense, so I'm not surprised that she was putting off re-recording this album.
So can we rewind the tapes and talk about what Taylor had to say about Rep TV and debut during her huge announcement? Check it out in this video.
What does this mean for Reputation, Taylor's version? Let's talk about it. I missed it. Taylor Swift bought back her masters, which means she officially owns her first 6 albums. Now, obviously, we have the re-recordings of 4 of them. We don't have the re-recordings for debut or for Reputation. But Taylor does address this in her letter when she talks about buying her masters. Let's take a look at what she said. The part of Taylor's letter where she talks about Rep TV and Debut TV. Now, this is obviously a bit from the Billboard article because the actual letter is handwritten. You can view it on Taylor's website, but these are the exact words. So what about Rep TV? Full transparency, I haven't even re-recorded a quarter of it. She says how the Reputation album is specific to that time in her life and how it's kind of difficult to do that. To be perfectly honest, it's the one album in the first 6 that I thought couldn't be improved upon redoing it. Not the music or photos or videos, so I kept putting it off. There will be a time, if you like the idea, for the unreleased vault tracks from that album to hatch. That to me says we're not getting the rest of the songs because she doesn't think she can improve it. I know a lot of people read this next bit and thought, oh no, we are going to get full Rep TV, but honestly, I don't think we are personally. But with Debut TV, I do think we're getting that. I've already completely re-recorded my debut album. Those 2 albums can still have their moments to re-emerge when the time is right. I think this is the bit that people are reading and thinking, oh, that means we're going to get Rep TV in full like we've got with the other Taylor's versions. For me personally, I don't see that happening. I think the fact she specifically only mentioned the vault tracks for Rep TV, whereas with Debut TV she's mentioned the full album, I think that's what it means. I think Debut will get the full Taylor's version treatment, I imagine for the 20th anniversary next year, whereas Rep will likely be re-released in some form. Maybe she'll do like a deluxe version of the original CD with the original artwork, but I don't think we'll be getting any new artwork. I think we'll just be getting the original tracks with the vault tracks added to it. I don't think she's going to release the Taylor's versions of those songs. Now we do kind of have some of the Taylor's versions like Delicate and Look What You Made Me Do, but as she said, she doesn't think she could improve these songs by redoing them, so I don't know if they will see the full light of day. Maybe because they're the singles, they might, but honestly I just don't see her going back to the studio to re-record an album that she's not already done because now she owns her masters. She doesn't need to re-record the album because the original version is technically a Taylor's version because she owns it. So for me personally, that's how I view it. Obviously you never know with Taylor Swift, you know, in 10 years time she might just be like, YOLO, let's just re-record it. But right now what it seems to be is that we're not getting a Rep TV in the form that we thought we were going to get a Rep TV in. Like, I think it will just be the same photo shoot. The fact she specifically mentioned the photo shoot makes me think that if she is going to release like a deluxe version, it will be from that original photo shoot rather than doing a new photo shoot for it. A lot of people are a little bit disappointed about this, and I get it, you know, it's been really fun revisiting the eras with the Taylor's versions, but this doesn't mean we're not going to revisit the era. The fact that she said that the albums could re-emerge at some point makes me think that we will have some kind of celebration of Reputation, but it won't be in the same way as the other Taylor's versions, and that's not a bad thing. If anything, it's a great thing because it shows how proud Taylor is of that album, and I think that's something that's fantastic. I know we all saw that scene in Miss Americana when she was like, I'll have to make a better album because it wasn't nominated at the Grammys, but like, I think it's great that she now obviously loves it and loves how she did it. I mean, Jack posted a video of Taylor and him singing along to Getaway Car. They love this album so much and they don't want to redo it, and I think that's fantastic, especially as when we even got snippets of the Taylor's versions from that album, people were like, no, I don't like them. Like, really, this is the best case scenario because Taylor owns all of her work and that's what we wanted in the long run. So I know people are a little bit upset about that and I get it, but this is kind of like a time for celebration, and you know, we will probably get that era at some point, but I think the next era we're gonna get is TS12. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments and make sure to like and follow for more Taylor Swift videos.
Reputation Taylor's version is canceled. Taylor released this rather lengthy, juicy letter about owning all of her masters. At least she's self-aware. I know. What about Rep TV? Full transparency, I haven't even recorded a quarter of it. What do you mean? Swifties have been clowning for so long, thinking this was ready to come out. But she's also teasing her 12th album, giving us an Easter egg with a very long spelling of this, featuring 12 eyes. Also, could this be the logo for her new album? Going back to Reputation, Taylor explained that she kept hitting a stopping point when trying to re-record Reputation. Reputation reflects a time in Taylor's life that was pretty intense, so I'm not surprised that she was putting off re-recording this album. She also mentions that Reputation was the one album out of her 6 original that could not be improved upon by redoing. I hate to say it, but it's kind of funny that Taylor getting all of her masters back is such a happy and proud moment for fans and also for her, but also fans are like, where's Reputation TV, including myself? To me, this gives a lot of clarity as to why we maybe got Tortured Poets Department at the Grammys when we all thought she was about to announce Reputation. She wasn't ready for it yet. She didn't even have it recorded. Now, in the letter, she also mentions how Debut is fully re-recorded and ready for release if that's something we would want. Of course we want it. But to be honest, I kind of think we're gonna get TS12, her new album, before we get any of the re-records.
And you know what? Tired of breaking my silence, I didn't even want Reputation Taylor's version. I only wanted the tracks because I knew nothing could beat the original. Nothing could beat the original. And you know what we're gonna think? Miss Taylor Swift herself. She said, as I quote, out of her first 6 albums, she felt that Reputation was the only one where she couldn't improve upon from the original. You cannot repaint the Mona Lisa. You cannot rebuild the Eiffel Tower, or whatever the analogy is. Like, you cannot redo it. And I was so terrified because I didn't want to live in a world where there were 2 Reputations. It's just the original. Okay, if you were not there, you don't get to relish in it. Okay, you had to be there. You had to be there. I don't care. And I was there. And I remained there. I stayed there. And now we all won. Okay, we literally all won. Because Taylor won. Now we might still get the Rep TV Vault tracks if she wants to release them. If she doesn't, we're taking one day at a time. You do you, girl. I'll be waiting. If you would love to release them, I will be here. Reputation is that girl. She doesn't have to rewrite anything. She doesn't have to reshape anything. She doesn't have to re-record anything. Because you can't rewrite history. That was history. You can't rewrite. You can't rewrite. You can't rewrite. You can't rewrite history. And that's all.
Okay, so I know a lot of us really wanted Rep TV, and based on Taylor's letter, it sounds like she's probably never going to re-record that album. And I totally get that, but I did think of something. We could still get Rep TV. What if, instead of re-recording the album, Taylor, what if you just take the recordings of the surprise songs and the set list from the Eras Tour and give us Rep TV, the Eras Tour, Taylor's version live? Just saying.
If your biggest takeaway from Taylor Swift owning her masters, buying back the masters that were stolen from her, is, oh no, we're not getting Rep TV. Shut the fuck. I understand being a little disappointed. This is something that we have all been anticipating and waiting and clowning for, so like, I get it. I was a little disappointed when I read the letter and I was, oh, okay, no Rep TV, but then that was it. I gave myself 2 seconds of grief, and then I got over it, because at the end of the day, Taylor owning her masters was the point. Taylor owning her music was the point. If you're out here making videos lamenting that we're not getting Rep TV, you don't get it and you're not a real Swiftie. Especially since the letter stated that she might still release Rep TV and she will probably release the Vault tracks and Debut TV. So like, what are you complaining for? This is a good thing.
So I think we can all agree that yesterday was definitely one of the best and most important days in Taylor's life. And once again, I'm so happy for her. But in the midst of it, she did address the elephant in the room that is Rep TV, which she hasn't even recorded a quarter of. And I'm okay with that given her reasons. Because if it's a perfect album, why even add to it? Also, let's not forget there are the Vault tracks for it. Last but not least, the ownership of her masters is such a bigger situation. And that has to be celebrated. And speaking of celebration, see the moment the big news broke in this next video.